So as you can see, we will be doing the Attack on Titan anime reviews on Mondays rather than Sundays, as now the subs come out around 10 p.m. for me, so I'm not going to stay up late to review this show. It's just easier for me on Mondays. For those that don't know why the subs got pushed back for so many places, there's a couple of streaming services outside of Japan that decided to, for the past couple of weeks, leak the episodes early before it aired in Japan, which in result pissed off the production committee and just Japan overall, so they said, hey, you guys can't have the episodes till Wednesday, and I assume Crunchyroll, Funimation, and a couple of others really worked hard to say, hey, could we have it at a later date on Sunday? So here we are. It's unfortunate, but at least I got to watch my Attack on Titan, so I'm a very happy camper. Now, last week's episode was a lot of people's new favorite Attack on Titan episode, and I don't disagree with that statement. However, I will say that this was my most anticipated episode pretty much of the season. There is still one other moment I'm really excited for, don't get me wrong, there's actually quite a few more moments. But there was something just so exciting about this Levi scene, and I completely forgot that we were getting the big Armin moment as well. So this episode has definitely become my new favorite episode, and there's going to be a couple of others that are even going to surpass this one for me. That just kind of highlights how crazy this season of Attack on Titan is. Now, this sequence of Levi just destroying the Beast Titan, this is the same man, if I'm not mistaken, who worked on for a month to animate the Levi rooftop scene in the first half of Season 3, where he's escaping the gun bandits and he's going through the building. Just, it looks so goddamn beautiful. The same freelancer who did that, I'm pretty sure, did this scene and took another month to animate this beauty, and the quality shows. This scene is so amazing because not only is it a visual spectacle, it was a visual spectacle in the manga, but it's about the emotion behind this. Levi has lost more soldiers, more squads than any man pretty much living other than Armin. And I love what this moment is. All the times that he's lost people, he's never really had someone to take that anger out on other than himself. He blames himself for the countless soldiers and comrades' death that he's brought them to. However, this time, even though he agreed to the plan, even though he encouraged the plan, he at least this time has someone to take that anger and frustration out, that the deaths can mean something if I kill you. But of course, you can't also just kill this man, you need to feed him to a Titan Shifter so the power can at least be in your hands. Which also can see it kind of does bite you in the ass, as he probably should have just killed him, but hindsight's 2020. But still, like, this plan is brutal, it is savage, it gets your revenge out, and it just lets you decompress. And someone like Levi, you don't want decompressing, as you can see the anger from the voice actor, just the passionate rage, and just you can sense the sense of sorrow in there as well. But it was so hard to keep up with what was truly happening. You were seeing what was happening, you could see the slices and how Levi was moving around, but he was like a lightning bullet. You couldn't even tell what was happening half the time, but it was because it was animated so fluidly, there were so many frames, every little bit of detail that needed to be there, it was, and that's why the speed and momentum felt so amazing as it was. And just to see the distraught in Zeke, because up to that point, he was having fun, he was playing ball, thinking these are dumb soldiers, they keep repeating history because their memories got erased. He doesn't take this seriously, and in a lot of ways he sees them as just lower beings, just almost like animals that it's like they need to be put out of their misery. And then everything's completely turned around when Levi comes in and uses those Titans to get to him and just absolutely brutally hurts him. Like, once he realizes what's happened, that there was a decoy, it's too late. Levi is the top soldier for a reason, and I think sometimes, you know, people who aren't a big Levi fan can forget why he did get such a massive fan base early on. It's because of things like this. Not only is he just a badass soldier, he knows what he needs to do for the greater good of humanity, even sacrificing the entire army, his best friends' lives. Like, he knows what he has to do, and to just see where it all ends up with the cart Titan taking him away in the nick of time and sending the Titans towards Levi, that pain hurt. You really felt that in a matter of a few minutes, you just saw a man finally getting revenge for all the bullshit that's happened to him, all the soldiers' lives that he has lost, to them, what in the actual hell, completely not realizing that someone could possibly save Zeke, to then him not having much of a chance with only a couple of blades left. Like, that is just so tragically beautiful. Not only was it a visual spectacle, everything I was anticipating, I had high hopes. Like, I felt like there was a 99% chance that this scene would be animated just as flawlessly as the rooftop scene in the first half, and to see the same person working on it, it's no surprise that it turned out this way. This freelancer is very talented and one of the best freelancers that the studio does have. And I just love where the visuals went. I love how it was so fast. It felt like there was so many frames to it, and it didn't feel like there was any shortcuts took, that it actually did have a month time in production for this man to work on it. But then when you break down what was actually going on the narrative level, and just the anger and frustration Levi has, what he's had to sacrifice in this battle and all the battles prior, not being able to blame anyone other than himself, finally having someone like Zeke to say, you're to blame and I'm going to show you what happens when you basically mess with me. But because they were trying to save his life, to feed him to someone, because Levi does have the serum, which could save one person, as he said, like, I hope one person in this field did live. And we see that one person, and holy shit, that has to be one of the worst feelings ever. You kind of wake up, you're unharmed, everyone around you is dead. That is just an absolute nightmare, and that's why soldiers who come home from wars just don't come back the same, because shit like this is absolutely horrifying, seeing everyone you love around you dead. You can see, like, hindsight, Levi would have just killed him if he knew something like this was happening, but they also know to a basic degree how Titans work, and they know that feeding him to someone would do more good than bad, especially if they don't know who the true enemy is, if this is all they have to them. And I love just how painful it was, how badass it was, how much of a rage-filled adrenaline rush it was, but how sad it was at the end of the day. It just kind of feels like it was all for nothing. Like, Levi got some rage out, but the man, he's still alive. All these soldiers dead, and for what? And Levi can't catch a break. This is a man who keeps blaming himself for all these deaths, and this is the worst case he's ever felt. And if that isn't great storytelling, I don't know what is. Now, the Armin stuff was really great. I wasn't expecting, like, I know this content, but I completely forgot that this was coming straight after the Levi situation. Armin is praised for his intelligence for a reason. However, something that doesn't get praised a lot is how heroic he is. A lot of people, myself included in the early stages, would say he's not that much of a heroic hero. There's other people who deserve that title. But Armin is one of the most heroic out of this entire cast, and seen by what he does with this plan, making sure that the rest will focus on Reiner while Armin and Eren deal with the Colossal at hand, recognizing that the Colossal is getting weaker, and something I have to compliment. Last week I said I wasn't a huge fan of how it looked in 3D, and I think the reason I wasn't a huge fan is the bigger the Colossal was, and like the more menacing they were trying to make it, the more goofy it kind of looked. However, the more energy the Colossal uses, the skinnier and more wonky it gets, and the less serious it looks, the better the 3D really blended with it, because you could see a weaker Titan as the episode progressed, and I really liked how this episode looked for the Colossal. I don't have any complaints with how the Colossal Titan moved around, functioned, or looked in this episode. I actually thought it looked exceptionally well done, and a lot more polished than last week's episode. But I do love how Armin can clue into these things and say, this is what's happening. I can recognize that he's getting weaker, similar to how Eren gets weaker. Clearly, this is a lot, especially for a Titan that's 10 times the size of Eren's and is using way more energy than he ever does. Of course, it's going to drain him. And the plan is so great because of how they execute it, because it goes in the route of not telling what the plan is. It's very quiet. And I love how you buy into Armin. You actually put your guard down. Even as a manga reader, I'm like, you believe it. Armin is someone who wants to see the ocean. He wouldn't give up his life. He would pull away before anything could happen. And to see the idea of the plan, it is ingenious. Like, seriously, it is one of the coolest plans I think the series has had up to this point. Having Eren look like he falls down, to then it'll look like he's too weak to fight, but what he's actually doing is making a hardening Titan, so it'll look like he's still there, so human Eren can come around and slice the weakened Colossal who won't be able to save himself. While Armin literally attaches his maneuver gear to the teeth of the Colossal that won't break as he gets burned alive, and you see Bertolt thinking that this is just how the hero wants to go out, and he was going to honor the death. It is so brutal to not only just see the devastation to just the overall forces to this squad, the amount we've lost, the amount that still survived on the enemy's forces, but to see Armin, someone who no one, I don't really think, who didn't read the manga, considered a hero up to this point. Maybe a smart character, but no one would say was one of the most heroic. He's literally getting burned alive, willing to completely abandon his goal. Similar to Erwin, being fine not seeing the basement for the greater good, being fine not seeing the sea that he's dreamt of for the greater good, if it means killing their enemies. And what a heartbreaking sequence that was. The way they detailed the Colossal radiating that just energy, that heat, This is one of the best looking sequences I think Attack on Titan has seen, because not only did it bring the scene from the manga to life, it felt hot. It felt like you were getting burned alongside Armin, and to just see that look on Eren finally being like, I got you, it's just so beautiful. It really, really is. The thing I love about Attack on Titan is how personal every story is. Even when you get into these giant Titan or human conflicts, at the end of the day, when you strip down what is driving these characters, it is all personal. We see Hanji still live and kicking for now, coming in to do the second Thunder Spear to blow Reiner's jaw open, to then Mikasa Kings come in with another really cool plan. It's all about strategy in this fight. They're not the same Season 1 characters just trying to slice around some Titan napes. No, they are absolutely planning amazing plans, which I absolutely love. Just seeing Reiner get thrown out there, like, the way they detail the brutality, it's both just jaw-droppingly amazing, but also it's kind of funny with just how brutal they'll go to just get the job done. It is just amazing. But I love the personality, I love the personal stories, I love just seeing the passion. You can tell the passion from just the way it's animated, from the way the actors are giving it. They're all buying into as if they are Mikasa, as if they are Armin or Eren or Levi or any of these characters, or even just that one soldier who survived the slaughter of the Beast Titan. It feels like real people. Even though they're drawings, it feels like real people with how the actors are going about this, and the way the music can just bring out that vulnerable side to you that you're trying to hide back, being like, this is sad, the actors are sad, everything about this is sad, but I'm not going to get all teared up. And then you hear the music and you're like, holy shit, it's absolutely breaking me. This episode is one of the best looking episodes of Attack on Titan. The visual spectacle from Armin hanging on for dear life to Levi absolutely brutally savaging and just destroying the Beast Titan, to then the hopeless realization that maybe it was for nothing. Like, you can tell just the story at hand. You can think, okay, this is a grand battle, but there's a personal story being told here, and this is Attack on Titan, where happy endings just really don't exist for everyone, and some people are gonna lose everything for nothing, and that's kind of what it feels for Levi in this situation, all for nothing. And this is a man who suffered more than most and just deserves a happy ending, and just he keeps getting the short end of the stick. And that's what I love about this season of Attack on Titan. It's really where you see everything kind of come full circle, and once season 3 does wrap up, where season 4 will eventually go, it's even more crazy to me, and just how the story continues to evolve. You can just tell that each side is fighting for what they believe in, and changing perspective around, focusing on Reiner or Bertolt, we probably would be viewing them as the enemy right now, feeling as if, we were losing everything. It's just so great what this story of Attack on Titan continues to do as it goes on. It is absolutely my favorite episode of the series, hands down. Between last week and this, you watch them side by side, you witness one of the most brutal and personal stories ever be told within this series, and this is just the beginning. There's still so much more to explore with this world and just history, and also those battles at hand. At every moment you think you know exactly where it's going to go, how the battle will play out. Levi's got this, a jaw comes in to save the day with just such a quick maneuver, to then just how the hell is Armin going to survive this, and then you see his burnt body to a crisp. Like, Isayama is a sick bastard, but that's why we love him, because he comes up with these ideas and stories that hurt us, that move us, that make us feel so much rage, but at the end of the day make us say this was an incredibly well written arc and character overall, and I'm so glad to see what's happened. A lot of people got hurt, there's very few survivors as we can see, but this is just where Attack on Titan wants to go. Make you feel like when you have to go up against your true enemy, it isn't going to be everyone gets to live and smile at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of casualties, and that's why I love this season of Attack on Titan. For everyone who did watch though, what did you think? Did you love the episode as much as me? What did you think of the 3D Colossal? Were you more on board with it like I was, or did you still find it a bit of a letdown? Let me know down in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't been new. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.